Schlick, and today I had the opportunity to interview two amazing artists, Markus Lenhard and Kaija Heitland. If you aren't familiar with the two of them, I highly recommend it. You will not be disappointed. Markus and Kaija have accepted an offer to come visit my little part of the world and are going to use this opportunity to present their new workshop, Universal Rules, Tattoo Composition and Flow. There's going to be something for everybody, but I'll let them tell it. Without further ado, here it is. Okay, so you guys are going to visit me, and you've been nice enough to offer to teach while you're out here. So we are going to make a weekend of it, and it's going to be kind of a tattooy spring break, and hopefully people can make some time to come out and visit. And so we're going to do 2 days in May. The second and third will be the main days, and if anybody can make it out on the fourth or on the first, we will do some kind of group event on the first. And that's going to be here in, is that just over 60 days? About 60 days somewhere? We're getting there. We're getting close.
2 months.
Yeah, about 2 months.
So that's what that's the main, that's what we're going to do. And let's tell people about you guys. Markus, do you want to go first?
Now I have to, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm Markus from Germany. I've been tattooing for 16 years now. I'm doing mostly Biomech, mostly self-taught at Biomech. And I've been teaching now for 4 or 5 years. I have a couple of seminars that I'm teaching. But for this time, we're going to switch it up a little bit. And there's going to be a little bit of a rewrite on my seminars so that we can teach it together. Because the both of us felt in the last time that we taught in in Chicago at the Reinventing Life seminar, we felt that we have a really good flow with each other, and that there's a lot. And Kaija has also observed me teaching a couple of times and always had something to add and something to say, and was always shuffling around in her seat a little bit to add things. And whenever we addressed that, and I incorporated her in the talks, it always ended up being much better. So we're really excited to finally be doing this together now. And so yeah, maybe it's Kaija's turn now to talk about her. Since
I'm Kaija Heitland, and I tattoo out of Vancouver, British Columbia at Sacred Heart. And I've been tattooing for around 12 years, and I'm pretty new to the whole teaching thing, but I've found that I adapted very quickly to it, and I really enjoy teaching. And in the last couple of projects that Markus and I worked on, teaching projects, have turned out really great, and I've learned a huge amount from it, and we've gotten pretty amazing feedback from people in the last set of seminars that we did, in the last demo that we did with Stefano Alcantara and with Guy hosting it in Illinois. And Markus's seminars tend to be very intellectual, very in the best possible way, absolutely in the best possible way. But like when you're approaching a subject like Biomech, this is a discussion that he and I have had a lot. It's already such an abstract concept that being more abstract when you're describing it makes it really difficult for people to really gain a lot from it. So by reinterpreting and rewriting these seminars to teach together, because we both have a very unique teaching style, and I think that the information comes across a little bit more cleanly and a little bit more applicable to tattooers, who are very visual learners. And sometimes, sitting down in a seminar, it's really easy to get bogged down with a lot of terminology and a lot of explanation and a lot of theory. And we want to really change that by co-teaching the two styles that, we use. I'm very hands-on and very, I draw a lot. Both of us draw a lot on the body, on people, and that's something that we really want to incorporate into the way that we're teaching, because it's just deconstructing those really abstract concepts into something that's like super visual and super applicable is super important.
I was very lucky enough to be able to catch the the webcast of what you guys were doing in Chicago, and that was an excellent seminar.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
So
Yeah, I
hopefully
feel like
you
we
get along.
complement each other really well when we're speaking. I tend to go a little bit more into the abstract and intellectual stuff, and I like words because it's not really
I
my.
tend to rein
Yeah,
it in that little bit back to earth, I think.
yeah. I mean, it's not my native language, and I do get carried away with it a little bit because I like it a lot. But I think it's good to have Kaija there. It's good to have the both of us together doing these things for sure.
Perfect. So who would like to talk about kind of what we're going to do for the weekend, how the weekend's going to look overall?
Kaija, do you want to go? Are you fresh on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been talking about it a lot. But
We've been doing quite a bit of writing for the website and everything like that in the last couple of days, so we've got a pretty firm idea of the way that we'd like to be structured. We'd really like for all the participants who are there the night before on the Friday for us to do some kind of like introductory like meet and greet and maybe have dinner or something like that and have a painting night just as a really easy, like a nice way to ease into some of the more educational parts of the weekend. It would be really nice to kind of break the ice because again, like we're really trying to present a new format. We don't want it to be too clinical. We don't want it to be like a clinic. Like we don't want it to be like us just giving talks. We really want it to be interactive, and we want people to get the most out of it that they possibly can. So, we want to make it really personable, like hang out and talk about the weekend and what they'd like to learn and that kind of thing too, right? So that we kind of want to do a little bit more like participant-led learning in this project a little bit. So the first night I think that we're going to do like a meet and greet. And the second day we start with Markus's rewritten seminar, Priorities. Markus, do you want to talk a little bit about priorities?
yeah, sure, I can talk a little bit about priorities. That was my first seminar that I've written, and I've been workshopping it ever since. I've aimed the seminar mostly at people who are a little bit stuck in a rut, who are maybe plateaued out a little bit in their work, or who feel like they have a hard time developing their own style, or don't really know where to look for new reference and inspiration and that kind of stuff. Because I've been at that point in my life a couple of times, I've burnt myself out a couple of times, working a little bit too hard, and that's all stuff that I'm going to be talking about in priorities. So with that seminar, I'm trying to provide a structure to the way that I compose my imagery that has really helped me to come to my own personal signature style. And I'm going to be explaining a lot of that. And there's going to be a little bit of other prioritization of how to find reference and how to structure the reference finding even, because I feel that that is something that can be easily neglected because we tend to only look in a couple of places on a daily basis, which is mostly in our hand with our phones.
And so that leads like really beautifully into the second part of the day where we're planning on, we're going to do priorities in the morning and we're going to do a little Q&A session afterwards. And then we're going to be going out into the wilderness and we're going to be doing some reference capture. So we're going to do some photography techniques. We're going to do going out in nature and looking at the right kind of reference, macro reference, micro reference, landscape and everything like that too, and just have talks about how all of these, the title of the seminar weekend is Universal Rules, and just how to recognize those things in nature. And not in nature too, in man-made objects and everything like that, but we're going to be going out and actually just really trying to identify what those things are and how to photograph them and then how to apply them.
Right. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. Scouting potential locations for that. It's going to be fun.
Nice, that'll be good.
Yeah.
Logistics-wise, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I suppose that most people will have a car available, and maybe we can carpool people together or something to get to a location, but I'm sure we're going to work it out.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to be able to work that out a little bit closer to the date too.
We'll work it out. I have some places that I'm ready to take you guys to a little bit ahead of time. We can make sure we have parking and everything else. There's,
awesome.
I mean, the town here is surrounded by nothing but mountains, hills.
Yeah, I figured that we're not going to be going very far.
So we have plenty to get to.
Awesome. And so I guess that leads us into, that's what we're going to be doing for the rest of that afternoon is going out and looking at reference, and then I guess that'll take us into the evening, and then we'll figure out dinner and everything like that too, what everybody's going to do. And I mean, if it goes well into the afternoon and we still want to do stuff, I mean, there's always the opportunity for us to, are we going to be doing, what is it at the end of that day, or are we doing it the second day?
I think we were going to do what is it, and the other one the second day. I don't know how much time you need, but I figure that at least around here, a ton of people take Sundays off, so that'll probably be the most wide open day.
So that's,
and we're also thinking to keep it kind of light on the first day, you know, and end in the nature walk, you know, do the meet and greet and get to know each other and get to know everybody so that we're all on eye level, and there's no awkwardness in talking to each other and all that kind of stuff. We know each other's names.
We want to eliminate that completely.
Yeah, exactly. And then on the second day, I think people will be a little bit more open to learn a lot more. So on the second day, it'll be a little bit more extensive on the Sunday. So we'll have a more tightly knit program on the third day, which I think is going to work just fine because the subject matter is it's more hands-on on that day anyways.
It is more hands-on. So that second day we're going to open with my separate, well, it's not separate, we're going to be co-presenting everything, but my talk is going to be primarily on flow and fit and anatomy, and how much fun and how easy it is to do, or how easy it is to approach it when you have a really hands-on method of doing things. And drawing on the body is one of the most important things, like even just as study, it's one of the most important things that you can do to understand how a tattoo fits on the body.
Yeah.
And my talk is mostly about fit and flow, but I'm also going to talk about movement, but I'm also going to talk about a little bit of art history. We're going to talk about the evolution of art and art forms. And we're going to talk about Art Nouveau and the development of Art Nouveau and Art Deco, and how tribal and Art Nouveau really influence most of what I do, and I think it influences most of what people do in Biomech, especially when it comes to layouts. And Pacific Northwest Coast art as well, like Haida and Salish art, because there's so many relatable points across all of these different really refined art forms, right? And the use of negative space is super intrinsic to all of these arts, or all of these different art forms, and there's a lot of really interesting visual characteristics that they all share. And so I'm going to be doing a presentation based on just like showing a lot of visual reference, and we're going to be talking about like the differences and the similarities between these and how we get to apply that to the body. So we're going to look at like big S curves and Art Nouveau shapes and everything, but we're also going to look at like really rigid construction of tribal bodysuits and stuff like that too. And then
I'm sorry. Are we going to do the What Is It seminar before that?
That is going to be before that. Well, that's what the current plan is, but we can work it out however.
Yeah. So I guess we start the day, we're going to co-present What Is It?
Right.
And we're going to talk about fundamentals of biomech design. And it is the one section of the weekend that is primarily focused on biomech. I mean, it is about biomech the weekend, but that's not all that it's about, right?
No, I think the What Is It seminar is just really good for anybody who doesn't really know how to make heads or tails of biomech, which is everybody, honestly. It's like even most accomplished biomech artists have no idea what it is. And, you know, that's why I called it that. When I was writing it with Adrian back in the day, which was like, I don't know, I think it's like 4 years ago that we've co-written that seminar. We structured it like a language. We structured biomech as a language with grammar and different words that you can use to construct it to tell a story, basically. And that's the way that we will explain it too. And it makes it just so much easier to see it as something specific, even though it's really trying not to be.
Sure, but what we want to do is bring a narrative to something that's narrativeless.
Exactly. Right.
Right?
That's exactly right.
We talk about, the reason biomech in particular is so hard to approach, and because it's the reasons why it's so abstract. Like, it doesn't share a lot of the similarities with all the other really popular forms of art and tattooing, because it doesn't have faces, it doesn't have hands, it doesn't have any of these focal points. So we're gonna draw correlations between those things in some of the shape language in
Turning some of those question marks into exclamation marks, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
It's important to understand a couple of things. When you do biomech well, that question, what is it, comes way later, because people are busy looking at it and enjoying it, and they say stuff like, oh man, that's really cool. And then they say, but what is it? Instead of that being the first thing that they ask, being kind of like confused, First you want that exclamation mark, then you want that question mark,
right.
not the other way.
Well,
so that's all that we're trying to do. That's good enough for most biomech artists.
And the two things that have really stood out to me after seeing that one is at least for me, I feel like it's one of the more it's a style that's just supposed to be a tattoo. It's just supposed to be a cool tattoo, look good on a whole limb from a distance in any any position movement. It just looks cool. And the other thing is that since I've come out and gotten work by Markus, that has really left an impact on me, is that when people stop me and say something about it, not only they know who it is, they know whose language it is, who's saying it, who did it. Is that Markus? Like immediately first thing, and I think that a lot of people would enjoy that, to be able to be have a style that of their own that's recognizable in that way.
Hell yeah!
And you have to start somewhere.
And that's really what the second day is all about, is like starting a little academic with what is it, and then and then I'm going to sit down and do my talk as an intro to the practical. So we're going to spend the rest of the afternoon really doing practical exercises in how to lay out and how to identify how to lay out a tattoo. It's not just about drawing lines. It's about really like dissecting why we pick lines in the body, which muscle groups we use, the movement of joints, the movement of muscles, especially like the way arms twist and everything like that, and seeing tattoos in movement on the body rather than this really, stationary, really stuck on kind of thing. Like one of the things that I love about biomech is that it is part of the person that you put it on, and you are deconstructing their human form. We joke about that all the time, like all our clients are, getting rid of their human suits, and we're just like chipping away at the human suit and revealing what's underneath, because that's what we're doing. We're actually, biomech is laid out with biomechanics, like really using the information that you're getting from the body, and it's all there, and it doesn't matter whether you do biomech, it doesn't matter whether you do tribal or Art Nouveau or Japanese or anything. All of these are really universal rules. And so by starting with a little bit of an academic morning and then going into the practical, we really just want to show people how to develop that really unique style. It doesn't have to look like my stuff, and it doesn't have to look like Markus's stuff. It doesn't have to look like anybody's stuff. But this is how he and I arrived at really distinct, original signatures with our work. Like, we're both very identifiable tattooers, and this is how we got there. And so instead of giving you all of the, ingredients.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was just me or her. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I think like one thing that we also always talk about that hasn't been really in the description, but it always comes out between us, is that one thing that both of us are really doing is talking a lot with our clients and getting to know our clients on a very intimate level. And that also really informs the tattoo that they're going to get. It's a very personal style just because it is so non-descriptive, because it is not trying to be something specific. I'm not a dragon, I'm not a flower, I'm not script, I'm not nothing. I'm biomech. It needs to be of that person. And what I'm always trying to do is to convey the character of the person that I got to know over a couple of days, designing the piece to really convey that with that piece, so that it's not like, you have a super soft-spoken person, you put something super brutal on them. That's just not what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. No, that's very true. It's very true. And so, I think that really the point of the whole weekend, and even though we're spending quite a bit of time talking about very specific subjects, like we really just want to, it's a lot about philosophy. It's a lot about our approach to tattooing and how we got to where we are, and trying to show people how to approach their own work in a really unique way, like in a fresh way, to see their work in a new light. And I think that's kind of the key of the whole weekend, is really just trying to give people a different approach to refresh the way that they do their work.
Yeah.
Have you guys spoken at all? We talked at one point about, would we rather have people practice with paper or with people?
Oh yeah, I guess I didn't talk about that. So during the practical, I will be sitting down and drawing on somebody. I'm going to be showing like counterflow and flow, and we're going to draw on that person with markers, and Markus and I will both be doing it. But I'm primarily going to focus on just very, very basic lines, basic shapes. It's not about rendering a tattoo, like rendering a full drawing on anybody. And I'm going to draw incorrectly on that person too, to really show the contrast between how flow works and counterflow works, and how you arrest lines, and the way that you destroy flow on the body, because it's very easy to do just by not paying attention. But all of the information is there. It's not something that you have to like inherently know. All of the information that you need is on that person. And so we're going to be sitting down and actually drawing on subjects and drawing on paper as well. But we're going to invite the rest of the class. We're going to be doing like flow exercises and picking lines on the body. So there's going to be, I think, the combination of people drawing on people drawing on paper, people drawing in their workbooks as well. So we're going to have in a very classic reinventing the tattoo tradition of drawing on body maps, and we're just going to sit down and really figure out on paper like flow lines that work, because it is a formula. All it is formula, and we're going to be actually working through stuff as I'm talking. I'm going to be inviting people to sit down and like actually work along in real time with me on paper. So, but I think we're going to have more. We're going to try and find more models so people can actually draw on other people.
Well, I have a free arm, and I think Mickey, you also have a free arm, right?
I have a free arm. It's been lasered, so it's got a little bit of crap on there, but it's open.
Even better.
And I put out the word to some of our customers. I have at least 10 people with 2 limbs apiece that are willing to show up if that's what you guys want to do.
Yeah, I think
that's really cool.
We want to approach this really differently, and I want to have a very practical, very hands-on approach to the way that I want to demonstrate this, because you can talk about it till the cows come home, and it'll just go in one ear and out the other. You have to see it, and you have to sit and see it, and then you have to sit and do it.
I think that would be very helpful.
Are we going to do a little critique session after the whole event? Are we going to tell people to bring some of their own works, bring their portfolios in, so we can do that?
I think that's going to be optional. So I think that's something that when we're going to email participants and everything like that about information about the course, and then we're going to let them know if that's something that they're interested in. They can bring their portfolios, they can bring art, they can bring like even online stuff, and we can take a look at it over the projector if they want to, or we can look at it on the phones and and sit down and have like one-on-one or group discussion about critiquing stuff. And if they're open to it, I'd really like to do that. And it's a good opportunity for everybody.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's always fun to do. The last time we did it,
make it just.
Yeah, the last time we did it, it was super fun, and I think we got a lot of engagement out of it, and that was really neat.
Yeah, and it's just like, but we really want to promote like a really safe, fun, like open atmosphere about everything. Like it's not, I don't want to do anything where we're putting anybody on the spot. It'll be totally optional. But the way that we did it in Illinois was really great. Like everybody in the group, like the 25 people that were there, everybody submitted photos, and then we all looked at them over the projector. So everybody was critiqued in real time, from Markus and Stefano and I and Guy as well, and we sat there and we all kind of picked something that we liked, something that needed improvement, and it was very productive and really like friendly and everything like that. So I think it was a really good model.
Cool.
How many people did we have in Chicago and Rock River?
Like 20, 25 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, I think it was 25.
It was a good group size. I was very comfortable with that.
And then we had all the online viewers as well, because it was all done live as well. And then it was also translated into Spanish real time.
Yeah.
By Bruno. Bruno, yes.
Yeah.
And he did an excellent job of that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So yeah, we're looking forward to this. We're very excited.
We're really excited about it.
When we get to do this. We've been talking about this kind of thing as a Team Lux Altera kind of event kind of thing for many
years.
For years now. So it's about time that we get this off the ground and actually start doing this.
Very cool. So to wrap up, I would say that this is kind of I think we've already spoken about who it's for and what they're going to get out of it, but do you guys want to add anything to that?
I would like to say that, while most of this is directed at tattooing, it's completely useful, and I would encourage anybody who's not a tattooer, who's a graphic artist, who still wants to do it, or is interested in what we do, I think that you're going to definitely get something out of this, even if you're not a tattooer. I think because we do talk about philosophy, we do talk about reference gathering, we do talk about a lot of things that have nothing to do with tattooing, and then both of us thought where we bring so much that's has nothing to do with tattooing into our work, rather than approaching it from a tattoo perspective.
And across all boards too, when it comes to tattooing, we both realize that Biomech is not a very popular style in tattooing. It's a very small niche of the community, and we don't necessarily aim to change that. But I think that what we're going for is to use it as an educational tool that can overarch all these genres, because I think everybody, even when you come from the very traditional field of tattooing, you can really benefit from understanding a couple of things, and vice versa. My Biomech has benefited hugely from getting to know traditional tattoo artists and hanging out with them and understanding what they're all about and what they like to see, way more so than my interaction with Biomech artists. My interaction with Biomech artists has always been getting me deeper into a rut, and then interacting with people that doing something completely different has really elevated me on a different level, because that's where you find all the very unexpected stuff, all the very unexpected upgrades. So I really do encourage people who have nothing to do with Biomech to check this out, because there might be some surprises there.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely have noticed, you see tattoos sometimes that are good, they're very high quality, and if they don't fit on the body just right, it definitely throws a kink into the whole operation.
And I think that that's actually a big point that I'm going to cover in the practical and in my talk, is it doesn't matter if the tattoo is this big, or if it's a full sleeve, or if it's back piece, or if it's a bodysuit. There is absolutely no reason that there shouldn't be movement and flow in everything that you do. Even a traditional piece that's this big, just pointing the leaves in the right direction, so that your eyes carry through from one side to the other across the arm properly, and there's no reason that even a small tattoo that is just a piece of flash can't fit and have movement on the body. And I think it's a disservice that a lot of tattooers do to their clients by just sticking tattoos on. And I think that just by rethinking the way that we lay out somebody's bodysuit, even if they only ever get one tattoo, that's their bodysuit. You're leaving an imprint there that is what informs the rest of the tattoos that they get for the rest of their lives. So that first tattoo, that small one, is building block for the rest of their suit.
Yeah, it's a bodysuit seed. that first
Yeah,
tattoo.
exactly. See, and we talk about that a lot too. Is like the first time I ever tattoo somebody, I always, even if it's their, especially if it's their first tattoo, I'm like, you have this amazing opportunity to sit down and like plan out your whole suit. That's what I did when I got tattooed, and I'm so thankful that I have no small tattoos. Like I just have big tattoos, and it's all really coordinated and everything like that. But really based in flow. Like I knew what I wanted everything to look like generally, and
Must be
and so it
nice.
doesn't matter if that's
Yeah,
a
right.
tattoo.
I had to laser off 2 sleeves and a chest and a back and a
Oh.
legs and to get back to being able to do that. So yeah, it would definitely, I think the more people that can get educated on leading their clients down the right path and having a more personal connection with their clients, and more personal to their own eye reference gathering and communication with people, then the work gets better, the enjoyment in the work gets better, the clients are happier, more people come, everything gets better.
Right.
It's very easy to get on autopilot, I think, in this industry.
Very yes.
Sure. Yeah. And that's another thing that we talk about a lot in both of the talks that we're going to do is like derivation, like not continually repeating the same stuff over and over again. And we're in this feedback loop on Instagram. Everybody is in this. You're advertised to based on the things that you like. You are advertised to and shown posts based on what your stuff looks like. So everybody's in this echo chamber. And we need to start breaking out of that. And I think that educating from different genres, like I'm really interested in learning from different types of tattooers because all you can do is get better. And I think that, yeah, like Markus said it before, even if you're not a Biomech tattooer, I think all of this stuff is, again, universal rules. They're all really important to all different kinds of tattooing. So.
Definitely. I think it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Can't wait.
Very cool.
Just 2 months left. So.
All right, so we're going to. I'm gonna get this edited. I'm gonna get the ticket up on the website today, and we'll get all the websites linked and start getting this stuff out. And that's it. Do you guys have anything else you want to cover before we go?
I think we covered it pretty well. I mean, yeah. Everything else will be discussed on location.
Sweet.
We can't keep talking about this like ad nauseum, but
yeah, we can talk forever. Yeah, I guess we've covered pretty much everything. I just want everybody to know who was thinking about attending, though, like everybody will come away from this with like a handbook. Basically, we're going to give everybody a lot of reference material and a lot of copy, a lot of the things that we talk about. So the whole course outline will actually be like a physical thing that they will have, they can bring home with them, and all of our worksheets and everything like that. So.
Cool.
Right.
Very, very cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a good day, good evening.
Awesome.
And I'll be in touch soon.
Awesome.
Thanks,
so
Nikki.
much.
Thank you guys.